Hello there. I'm Hank, and welcome to my podcast, Hank Sayz, where we talk all things Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and Harry Potter. Today we are talking about the film Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, or H.P.O.P. as we affectionately refer to it on this podcast, and here to help me with that is my co-host. You know him, you love him, put your ear flaps together for Allan. How are you doing today, Allan?
I'm doing awesome. Let's get started with this H.P.O.P. episode.
Yes, and before you click out of this podcast episode, because I know that there are many of you who want to at this point.
No.
Yes, listener retention.
Oh.
I'm just going to tell you now, there is a new segment of this podcast.
Segment?
Yes, that will be in between the guessing games and the shameless plugs that we will be revealing right then. So make sure to stick around until then. But for right now, why don't we move into the Fast Facts?
Fast Facts is the first section of the podcast where we break down the who's, the what's, the whens, the where's, the whys, and the hows for our subject for you, in case one of your friends doesn't know who or what H.P.O.P. is, so that you can be the one to educate them.
That's right, Allan. The Fast Facts for Harry Potter are that he is a Wizarding World character. That's right, it's now called the Wizarding World.
Is that like a kind of MCU type of thing, where it's like a universe?
It's a universe now, because Fantastic Beasts.
Ah.
He was created by J.K. Rowling. Fun fact, it's Joanne Rowling. Yes.
Really?
And he first appeared in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 1997. As for the movie, it came out on July 11th, 2007 in the US. It was directed by David Yates, produced by David Heyman, and David Barron.
Wow, that's a lot of Daves.
That's 3 whole Daves. And it had a screenplay by Michael Goldberg. It starred Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, Rupert Grint as Ron Weasley, Emma Watson as Hermione Granger, Matthew Lewis as Neville Longbottom, who we have an episode on, go listen to it. Evanna Lynch as Luna Lovegood, Michael Gambon as Albus Dumbledore. This time.
What do you mean this time?
This time there are many different, Dumbledore actors.
Oh, really?
Because one of them died. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
And then we've got Ralph Fiennes as He Who Shall Not Be Named, Voldemort, and Imelda Staunton as Dolores Umbridge, Robbie Coltrane, sure I nailed that, as Rubius Hagrid, Brendan Gleeson as Mad-Eye Moody, and Gary Oldman as Sirius Black. And it had a runtime of 138 minutes, and the budget was 150 to 200 million. And it made $942 million in the box office.
Wow, you could buy over 3.7 billion chicken McNuggets with that money.
That is the best use for that money I can possibly think of.
Also, if we go back to our Black Panther episode, one of the parts we accidentally made an oops on the McChicken Nugget math. So
yes.
Sorry for all of our math people that were listening.
That I can tell they were just like screaming into their iPhones.
But basically it was billions and billions of chicken McNuggets. So
actually we technically weren't wrong because we said over 300 million and it was over 300 million.
I guess we were technically right.
But for all those sticklers out there, why don't we move into the next section of the podcast, the first sight.
The first sight is the second section of the podcast where we peel back the curtain of time and reveal where we first met our subject.
I first met our subject, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, by reading the book. I met the books first, rather than the movies. And as for Harry Potter itself, I wanted to read Harry Potter for a while, and then found it at my local library, and just absolutely devoured the series over the course of, 5 months, I think. And I really like this book, and it's probably my second favorite of the entire series. My first favorite is The Goblet of Fire. What about you, Allan?
Good. I had my first sight pretty much the same way you did. I read all the books first. I just devoured, like you said, all of the Harry Potter books, and I just thought all of them were really, really, really great.
Really great.
They were really great.
But wait, is this one your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
You know, I think my favorite would have to be... it was probably one of the last two.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the books, it's just one.
Maybe it's number 7.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the Deathly Hallows.
Where Snape dies. And the Deathly Hallows are nice.
Where Snape dies.
Justice!
Wow.
Does Dolores Umbridge ever die? I can't remember.
No, she lives. Which is injustice.
That's a shame.
But you know it's not injustice?
What?
The next section of our podcast, the diving board.
The diving board is the section of the podcast where we dive deep into the pool of learning that is Harry Potter 5.
So, as for the summary, it starts out, we got a Harry Potter-esque beginning with the Hedwig theme and the cool titles. And it starts out with Harry and Dudley. They are Dementored.
Oh,
Yes. And Harry uses the Patronus charm.
Patronus?
Patronus. He summons a potato.
Ah, yes.
And then the Ministry gets all up in his business and expels him from Hogwarts. So what did you think?
Well, I thought it was kind of a quick prologue, but it was pretty good nonetheless. The only grievances I have with it is, why is it so hot if the Hogwarts term starts in fall?
That's
right?
a good point.
Why is it like in the 90s Fahrenheit, or even the 100s, like the guy said, if it's like fall? Don't really understand that. And then, of course, it gets super dark everywhere really fast when the Dementors show up, which hasn't really happened previously.
No.
Like, there's no real weather change when the Dementors show up before this. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Also, Dudley's gang just like, poof, they appear. Like,
Right.
there's no walking up. It's just, bam,
They're there at the playground.
at the
whatever.
playground. And then also, the subway. Great job, Harry. That is the perfect place to hide from Dementors.
Obviously.
They can't
Long,
go
dark hallway.
through- They can't go through walls
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
So it's
all good.
so what happens next?
Well, Harry is then taken to the Order of the Phoenix by a bunch of different characters that we know and love, and some that we don't.
Wait, hold on. Let's see if we can name them. There's Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Right? Mad-Eye Moody.
Yep. Tonks.
Nymphadora Tonks.
Don't call her Nymphadora, though.
Okay, yep. Is Lupin there? No, Lupin's
at the headquarters. Let's see. Man.
There's a few more that we missed.
You know what? Let's come back to this.
Okay.
So then he goes to the trial, right?
Right.
He gets taken to the trial after meeting up with Ron and Hermione.
Hermione. Yep.
And he is cleared of all charges by Dumbledore.
Good job, Dumbledore.
Because Dumbledore is a lawyer. And he then returns to Hogwarts. So, like, you know when they're flying with the...
On the broomsticks.
On the broomsticks? That's probably one of the coolest scenes in the movie, by the way.
Sure.
The only grievance I have with it is that they fly by a bunch of people on boats, and it's like...
Right, on
wait,
a boat.
On a boat. And it's like, wait, wouldn't the people on the boats be able to, like, look out on the water and see wizards? No?
No.
Not at all?
No, they're invisible.
Also, all the smear campaign stuff against Fudge... Or no. Started by Fudge.
Yes.
Cornelius Fudge. Against Harry Potter and Dumbledore.
Right.
The news is fudged.
Oh, I see.
Get it?
I see what you did there. I see what you
Also, Umbridge is introduced during all the lawyer stuff. And she's gross.
Yeah, she's evil.
She's the
As
worst.
we get to see later.
Oh, yes.
I think Mr. Weasley is just great. Like, he is using the telephone to get down to the Ministry, and he's just a great character. But my favorite line is when they're about to enter the courtroom where Harry Potter is, and he has to leave him. He's like, "Don't worry, Harry." As they say, the truth will out. Which is a short version of the truth will always find you out.
Oh, man.
Which doesn't
it's just
really apply.
So good.
It's just great. Also, you know how like the telephone booth lowers down into the Ministry of Magic, but then like a fake one or the real one replaces it? Can you actually call on that telephone, or is it just a fake? Have people accidentally stumbled into the Ministry that way? I wonder.
I guess you should contact the Ministry of Muggle Control for that.
Yes.
Next, Delumbridge.
Delumbridge Oris.
Delumbridge. That is her new name.
Delumbridge
We are calling her
Oris.
that for the rest of the episode.
Exactly.
Delumbridge is announced as the new Dada, or Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Dada.
Dada. Except now it's Mama.
Yeah.
And decides not to teach magic. Bad on you, Umby.
Good job.
And then Harry says that Voldemort killed Cedric, which is what happened, and Umbridge says no.
No. Dumbridge.
Dumbridge, sorry. Dolores.
No, Aloris Dumbridge.
Aloris Dumbridge.
Right?
Maybe?
Yes.
I can't remember what we said 10 seconds ago.
We'll just call her Dumbridge.
Dumbridge, okay. And makes him write, "I must not tell lies," with the scar pen.
Oh, so evil.
And it is literal child torture.
But she is a good actor.
Oh yes,
person
the
that
lady who plays
Dumbridge. She's really good.
Dumbridge is
Dumbridge.
incredible.
Sorry, Dumbridge.
And then Harry, Ron, and Hermione have a meeting and decide to found the Dumbledore's army in
Yeah.
the Room of Requirement. Oh, also, Luna shows up. What did you think?
Well, in this scene, when Luna shows up, she says, I hope there's pudding when they're going to the Great Hall to have their first dinner, and she gets her pudding. And you just see her eating the pudding very
she
affectionately.
loves her pudding.
Yes. Also, Neville's very uncomfortable pretty much all the time, but it's impressed upon here when they're getting into the carriage with Luna. He's just really uncomfortable. And he's just holding a weird cactus. For some reason.
I love Neville so much.
He's pretty good.
Just the fact that he walks up and he's like, hey guys, and he's just holding the plant as it's like kind of snuggling against his shoulder. And they're like, hey Neville. It's just that. Oh, I love that moment. So, in Dumbridge's office, Dumbridge, everything's pink. It's all pink.
Yeah, and the pink.
And the kittens are moving on the plates, and there's so many plates with kittens.
It's creepy.
And she's always wearing pink and fuzzles. I don't understand.
It's characteristics of evil.
Yes, very much.
Not to hate on anyone that constantly wears pink all the time and has moving cats on their plates, on their walls.
If there is anyone like that listening to this podcast, to them I say, that's an excellent shirt you're wearing.
Yes.
And an excellent shade of pink. Also, Harry's a bit whiny in this one. He's kind of all, oh, nobody understands me. And Hermione's like, hey, we want to help.
But nobody understands me. Yeah, he's kind of whiny in this one.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. All right, so next, Harry and Cho Chang.
She got a lot of money.
Begin a relationship one day, just randomly, after the DA practice with Dumbridge.
Oh, yes.
Dumbridge forms an inquisitorial squad. I kind of mushed those two together, didn't I? I had some notes here, and I just mushed them together. I'm sorry.
You
they
shoved
begin a
them in the merging
relationship
machine.
after a DA practice. And then Umbridge forms an inquisitorial squad to find out what's going on. Because she knows something's going on.
And it's all Slytherins.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Then Umbridge is named by herself High Inquisitor of... Dumbridge. Is now the High Inquisitor of Hogwarts. So she can basically just go around and write whatever she wants about anybody and fire them whenever she wants.
Yep.
And she tries to fire Professor Trelawney.
We had such a trouble with that in the Neville one.
We just watched the movie and we heard her
Lord.
name, but Trelawney. But Dumbledore stops her from making her leave Hogwarts, although she's not a teacher anymore. So then Harry has a dream about Arthur Weasley being attacked by Nyagagi. The snake. Voldemort's snake. Where he is the snake, which is weird. And then Snape gives him his first lesson in occlumency.
Yeah.
Which is, thwarting mind reading, which is great.
Mind shield. So, in some of the Dumbledore's army scenes, when Ron and Hermione are doing stunning practice, it's like everyone was like, come on, Ron, get her. And he doesn't do it. Also, Cho, when they're kind of flirting, says, I've been able to stun anything before. And Harry doesn't really say anything of importance, but what we wish he said is, well, you're stunning me, baby. Smooth.
Very smooth.
And then when Dumbledore shows up, he like shoves through the big doors at the front of Hogwarts, and you know that everything's about to go to pot. It's like...
Dumbledore's angry.
Oh no.
You ruined his Fortnite session.
With the boys. Alright, boys. Where are we dropping?
Okay. Luna's solution to everything during this is kind of just like, yes, the Nargles are to blame.
No. Do the impression.
I suspect Nargles are to blame.
I hope the mic picked that up.
I suspect that Nargles are indeed to blame. Ah, yes, the Nargles. I will destroy the Nargles.
Yes, but her whole thing is with the Nargles.
Yep.
And we never actually get to see a Nargle.
That's because they don't exist.
Oh, what? No, that's not true. Also, Harry M. Snake Boy.
It's true.
That's what it says right there in
Right
in
there
the
in the
notes.
show notes.
Harry M. Snake Boy. Also, Snape is very triggered by Umbridge talking about how he didn't get the defense against the dark arts. And she's like, did you want the defense against the dark arts? Did you get it?
No, obviously.
And then he's triggered and he hits Ron because he was snickering.
Yes, he was eating a Snickers.
Okay.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Oh.
Here, have a Snickers.
Okay, what happens next?
Well, Bellatrix Lestrange escapes Azkaban, and Dumbridge finds out about the DA by Vertrusiuming Cho. Veritrusium.
Veritasium.
Yes, that.
Veritasium.
And then he
Eminine.
catches them all. And Dumbledore escapes with Fawkes the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
He's a phoenix, not a fox.
Oh, yes.
And then Dumbridge becomes the head mistress.
Oh.
And they have a short conversation in the fire with Sirius. Somewhere in there.
Right.
And then Hagrid introduces them to Gwarp,
Gwarp.
who is his
Gwarpy.
giant half-brother.
Yep.
And then Harry sees into Snape's mind during one of them occlumency lessons
Uh-huh.
and realizes that his dad bullied Snape throughout their school years.
Oh.
And that's why he's such a jerk.
He should have just said, "Hey, I'm not my father. You can't keep taking, like, you can't keep putting responsibility on me for what he did to you."
Potter.
And now he's dead.
Potter.
So is that satisfaction enough for you?
Potter. I can do whatever I want, Potter.
Yeah, okay. Also, if you notice in the breakfast scene during this time, someone is eating a bowl
Yes?
of cheery owls. Cheery owls.
Not O's.
It says on the box.
Cheery owls. We paused
which is
it.
just
We high-speed scrubbed,
and
and
it was
says-
just perfect. Cheery owls.
not Cheerios. That's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Also, Umbridge is just truly evil.
Who's Umbridge?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dumbridge.
Yes.
Aloris Dumbridge.
Aloris Dumbridge is the truest form of evil there is in the good.
Might even be more evil than Voldemort.
Honestly, when I read this, I hated her so much more than I hated Voldemort.
Because Voldemort, he like kills Cedric or whatever and comes to power, but you never really get to see, like, during this whole book, Umbridge is there
Uh-huh.
doing evil
And
things.
she's just doing subtly evil things.
Right.
Like, she's not, like, destroying buildings and killing massive amounts of people. She's just...
like torturing people, basically,
Mhm.
throughout this whole thing.
Also, it's not Cho's fault. It's Truth Serum.
Right, but Harry is still unnecessarily angry with Cho for revealing the
Everyone's
secrets.
unnecessarily angry with Cho.
Sure. Yep.
Also, when they meet Gwomp for the first time... Gwarpy.
Yeah.
They do the little bicycle ring thing. Like,
yeah,
with the
that was a little odd.
I didn't understand that.
It wasn't in the books.
No, not at all.
But, I mean, I guess it's kind of...
Yeah.
All right, so what happens next is the Weasley twins, the Weasley twins interrupt the owl exams with their famous Weasley fireworks.
Oh, I love
And
those two.
Umbridge gets burned, and all of her decrees fall down off the wall. It's a great scene.
It's the best scene.
It's awesome. And then Harry gets a vision of Sirius being crucioed by Voldy. Crucioed by Voldy, that's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it says.
And then Harry gets caught by Dumby,
Mm-hmm.
and she suspects that he's trying to go to Voldemort because he tries to use the Flu Network to get to the Ministry of Magic to help Sirius. And she is going to use Veritasium and ask Snape to get Veritasium, but Snape doesn't have any more. And then he threatens to Crucio Harry, which actually doesn't happen because Hermione then is going to reveal all of the secrets.
Yes. Also, Umbridge should have gotten eaten by the firework dragon.
Like completely
Like
eaten, like
eaten.
burnt to a crisp.
Boom. Murdered.
I mean,
Eaten.
I guess that's some satisfaction.
That would be the best. And also, Flitwick Professor Flitwick, he do be getting into it.
Yeah, he's like, yes,
Yeah.
justice.
And then also in the woods later,
Mm-hmm.
Dumbridge still hasn't changed out of her charred clothes.
Which, I mean, why would you? Wait, no, you don't need it. It's pink, baby.
Well, I
Goes with everything.
It's true.
Even burnt, crisp pink.
Yes, it's true.
Also, Hermione shows, she flexes her big brain
Yes.
by tricking Umbridge in what happens next. What happens next, Hank?
Well, Hermione tricks Dumbridge into the woods, and then Dumbridge gets captured by the centaurs.
Ah,
Yeah.
sweet justice.
And then they find the Thestrals, and they transport Harry and friends to...
The Ministry of Magic.
Yes, and there they find the prophecy and are ambushed by Death Eaters. Because Sirius
Lucius
is not...
Malfoy, who we knew all along was a Death Eater, but also everyone said he was not a Death Eater.
And was still a Death Eater. And then, they don't find Sirius there because it was all just an illusion.
Right.
It was all just full. And then they are captured and they try to make Harry give them the prophecy.
Oh. Sad.
It is. And then he gives them the prophecy. Psych! And the Order of the Phoenix shows up, and the prophecy shatters, and there's a big honking battle where all the light people are fighting all the dark people.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Sirius dies.
Oh, no, it's
Bellatrix kills Sirius.
They shoot him into the portal.
Yeah, the death portal.
Man.
Hey, you want a quick way to death? Here you go. Just walk through this weird curtain portal.
I don't want to do that. I'm serious.
Ouch.
Pun.
Okay, so rip Sirius. He was great. Godfather figure to Harry.
Mm.
It's a great scene,
Oh, yeah.
how much he cared for Harry. Also, Bellatrix is evil and you know it. Clap your hands. Bellatrix is very evil. Clap your hands. And then she's kind of wimpy when Harry crucios her in the hallway. Then Voldemort shows up. Clap your hands.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Harry should have just put the prophecy back. No one could
Yeah.
grab it. He just boop, pluses it back.
I see you found Lucius. I see you found the prophecy. What? What do you mean? Puts it back. Dang, no.
Dang you, Potter. And then when Luna's all like, "We fly, of course." And do Thestral show up on radar? Because if they are, any airplane pilots within the vicinity would be like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah, and how does Luna know that, the Thestrals are around, she knows, in the Forbidden Forest, but how does she tame, 7 of them?
I wouldn't know.
Alright, so next, Harry is palpatined by Voldy.
How does one get Palpatine?
One only says, "Do it."
Yes.
Because Harry is told by Voldemort to kill Bellatrix. But he doesn't, and he tries to turn around and hit Voldemort, but Voldemort's like, "Ha, you're weak," and disarms him. And then Dumbledore shows up, and he and Voldemort duel, and then Harry beats Voldemort by using his big brain friendship and love skills to say, basically, "You have no friends, Voldemort, you're sad and lame."
Dab.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And then the Ministry revokes the smear campaign against Harry and Dumbledore, and then Dumbridge leaves Hogwarts, thank goodness.
Thank the Lord.
And then Dumby explains what he did and what happened with Harry, because he was trying to distance himself from Harry and keep him away from everyone.
Social distancing.
Yes, which is how all of the great plans work out.
Yep.
And then it ends with the sentiment. We have love and a power worth fighting for.
Wow. Good on you, Harry.
That's great.
You're a
Good
great
job.
sentimental sap. I mean, Dumbledore, he was just trying to social distance, 6 feet apart,
Oh, yep,
wear a
that's-
mask, don't actually talk to people.
Wear your beard as a mask.
Exactly. That's how
Mhm.
it does. And instead of the sentiment of love and friendship, haha, sure, that's great, Harry, but you know what you actually have? Noses.
Because Voldemort does not have a nose.
Voldemort does
and
not
we
have
all
a nose.
noses.
And we all have noses.
Also, when Dumbledore is fighting Voldy, he has some sweet moves.
He moves like a guy a third of his age.
Which is probably like, what, 150?
Oh,
Got him! Got him!
Got him, dude.
Ooh.
Air horn noises.
Yes, Dumbledore's old.
Dumbledore's very.
So is Voldemort, but Dumbledore's...
We get to see a young Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts, I do believe.
Oh, that's great. It's cool. We need to watch that sometime.
Yes. If you would like to suggest that we watch Fantastic Beasts and do a movie review on it, we will tell you how you can do that later.
Actually, we'll tell you how to do that right now, because we're moving on to the next section of the podcast, the shameless plugs. This is the section of the podcast where we shamelessly self-promote our podcast and everything to do with it.
That's absolutely right. Getting started, if you'd like to make a suggestion, like we just said, of a topic we discussed, just email it to hanksayzpodcast@gmail.com. That's says with a Z.
Also, please listen and follow us on Spotify if you'd like, so you'll be notified when we upload our next episode.
Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd prefer to listen to our episodes over there. We are at Hank Sayz on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd like to find a resource hub, just visit anchor.fm/Hank-Sayz. That dash is very important, and Sayz is spelled with a Z.
Also, if you just want to search on one of your favorite platforms, you can go to Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Radio Republic, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and just search Hank Sayz.
Yes, quite simple. Also, if you'd like to listen on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. It moves us up in the algorithms. And if you actually write something down, maybe we'll read it on the podcast.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Now, why don't we move on to the brand new section that we teased at the beginning of the podcast called Hank's Tidbits.
Ooh, I like that. Neat. In this new section, we talk about the exciting things that have happened between episodes.
That's right, Allan. We have 2 tidbits for you today. And number 1 is, we have new release dates for Black Widow and Shang-Chi.
Ooh.
Yes, the 2 new MCU movies that are coming out from Marvel.
Right.
And Black Widow is now coming out May 7th, 2021. Yeah, I know. We have to wait even longer. And Shang-Chi is out on July 9th, 2021. We have literally a month between Marvel movie release dates. And the second tidbit is that The Mandalorian Season 2 is now coming out on October 30th.
Yes, Baby Yoda.
We have so much more Baby Yoda now, and if you would like to suggest that we do Season 1 or Season 2 as a retrospective, you know how to do that. We just told you all about
we
it.
just told you how to do.
Just rewind like 1 minute. It's all good.
The question is, really, if Mandalorian Season 3 is only for premium access, you know, where you have to pay $30 on Disney Plus for that, would you pay $30 for Baby Yoda?
Well, you know how we did a Black Panther movie review a little while ago?
Yes.
I'm gonna just lift a line from there.
Okay.
For Baby Yoda? Without question.
Oh, yes.
Now, it is time for the last section of the podcast, the guessing games.
Boing!
We make sure you stick through all of the plugs to hear us play some guessing games.
What's our game today, Hank?
Well, today's game is the 4th edition of Hidden History.
Yeah.
Allan, today it is your challenge to try and recollect some key moments in Harry Potter's history. Think you can handle it? Think you can do...
I think I can.
Do you think you can do better than last time? You got one last time.
I know, that was an all-time low, and I'm sorry. I'll try to do better this time.
Smash that record, man.
Okay.
So, the first question is,
yes,
can you remember the name of Hagrid's brother?
You mean half-brother?
Yes.
Gwarp?
Yes.
Grap?
Ding,
Gwarp?
ding, ding. Gwarp.
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 Call him Gwarp.
Whatever. I mean, whatever his name is, you nailed it.
Thank you.
That's one question down. Your second question is, what does the Mirror of Erised do?
Erised?
Erised.
Yes. The Mirror of Erised shows you what your heart truly desires.
Yes.
And for Dumbledore, it shows him a pair of socks.
What does it show for Harry?
His parents.
What does it show for Ron?
Quidditch cup, right?
It's the house cup, but I'm
House cup?
gonna give
Quidditch?
it. Dude, that's like
okay, yeah,
you got
over.
0.5 bonus points for knowing what
thank
Harry
you.
and Dumbledore see.
Thank you.
All right, now your third question is, this is the hardest one.
Okay.
Who in this movie goes on to play professional Quidditch?
Wait, like professional? Like
Yes. For the Harlequin Harpies.
Oh boy. It's definitely not Neville.
Nope.
Probably not Ron.
Nope.
Probably not Harry.
Nope.
Is it Seamus?
Nope, that's one guess down.
Do I get 3?
Yes.
Is it Thomas?
No.
Is there a guy named Thomas? I don't remember. Is it a girl?
Yes.
Is it Luna?
No, it
Ah.
was Ginny.
Oh, it's Ginny,
goes
really?
on to play professional Quidditch because the
I don't remember
Harlequin
that.
Harpies is an all-female team of English Quidditch players.
Oh, wow. I've totally forgot about that.
Well, your fourth question is,
Yes.
name one, just one, of Dumbledore's 3 middle names.
Oh, that's easy. One of my favorite of his middle names is Brian.
Do you have favorite middle names? Hold on. You got it right, but come on. Do you have favorite of his middle names?
Yeah, Brian is my favorite of his middle names because he has like 3, and the other one's like Winfred or something.
Yeah, that is one. Do you know what the third one is?
What? I don't remember.
It's Percival.
Oh, right.
Alfred.
Alfred?
Alfred.
Albus. Alfred.
Winfred.
His name is Alfred Dumbledore now.
Master Bruce.
It is Albus, Percival, Winfred, Brian, Dumbledore. Right.
Excellent.
Wow. Okay.
All right, so your fifth and final question is, what do we first see Harry doing in the movie? You have 3 options. 1, swinging on a swing in the park.
Uh-huh.
2, feeding Hedwig. Or 3, walking on a dirt road with wheat on either side.
I know it's not feeding Hedwig.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure it's walking on the dirt road through a field of wheat.
That is
Toward the park.
absolutely
Yes!
correct.
I got
Very well done.
What, 4.5 because you gave me an extra point and I got 1 wrong?
It is true. You got 4.5, Alan.
Wow.
That is your all-time best score.
That's awesome.
Well, you know what's not awesome, Alan?
What?
It's time to end the podcast for today.
Oh.
So, thank you for tuning into Hank Sayz, where we talk all things Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and Harry Potter. We both hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Alan, why don't you send them off with the most Harry Potter-esque goodbye you can muster?
This episode was cut short. I suppose Noggles are to blame.